Hi everyone, my name is Katrin and I'm here to talk about breast cancer, and this is a 12-week follow-up since double mastectomy with reconstruction, and I'm just here to check in. So first of all, just jump right into it. 12 weeks ago, February 26, 2020, I had a double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction. Expanders were put in, as you can see. My size is actually quite similar to my old size, which is kind of a trip, but I'm very happy with the results, and I realize there's more to go in terms of that. I'll need another surgery someday soon to replace these expanders with real implants. But so far things have been a lot better than I expected, I must say. So it's been about a little over 12 weeks. And I left the surgical tape on for 10 weeks. And I just want to add that because my plastic surgeon recommended leave that surgical tape on that goes over your scars as long as possible for the best result. And when I removed the surgical tape after 10 weeks, I cried because the results were like a lot better than I expected. It was yeah. So I realized I have another surgery, to still overcome and more in the future. But right now, today, it's okay to take a moment to just really acknowledge that, I'm very happy with how things have been so far. As you can see, I have a port, which is an implanted, see right there, and then it goes up into the jugular vein, and there's a little scar for it. That surgery was at the end of March, and that's for chemotherapy, which I'm currently in right now. I'm 3 treatments in, 3 infusions, and I'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But back to the mastectomy, the recovery has been so far so good. Again, I'm very pleased with Kaiser Permanente and my doctors, and doing a great job on me, taking good care of me, and been exercising a lot. That has really I've always been, and there's my baby, my bike. I pretty much live on my bike, or running, or just yoga, being active. And after the surgery, of course, you can't do all that stuff right away. But I was able to get back on the bike about 3.5 weeks after surgery, which is a tiny bit sooner than normal, but or suggested. But anyway, so far things have been really great, and very happy with the results overall. So chemo, that's where I'm at now. I'm 3 treatments into chemo. Of course, the coronavirus pandemic is going on right now, so no visitors are allowed, and that's fine because the place, I'm sorry, but the smell in there is so bad. I don't want anybody else to have to sit through that because it's really intense. They say it's a saline solution, but it just smells bad in there. And I'm doing the cold cap. So yeah, I have hair still, kind of. You can probably see a little thinning on top of my part. So I'm gonna be very honest, very real about this. I'm doing Paxman cold cap, and I just want to show you there's definite major hair loss above my ears on either side. My right side is a lot worse, so you can see that's pretty, that's, yeah. I've had really thick, long hair before this. I had a lot of hair, like a good amount, and I've been shedding about 5 to 7 or 8 days after each infusion. I will shed a lot of hair. Like, when you comb your hair and it comes out like just a few hairs, well, now it's like, there's 100 hairs or something. Taking a shower is a little bit of a shocker sometimes during that time. And then the shedding kind of goes away. I'm only 3 treatments in. I'm on the CAT regimen, which is the Cytoxin and Adriamycin right now. And then I will go on Taxol. So I have 12 infusions total. I'm 25% done, being 3 in. But yeah, so the cold cap, I'm using Paxman. I'm not like a spokesman or anything, but this is what it is. And it's basically a cap that you wear on your head. This liner fits really snug. They say the most important fit is really the top of your crown and everything. They say it's normal to have a little bit of this ear line hair loss that I'm showing. And then you sit for a half hour with it on before treatment. I'm not going to put it on right now, actually, because it kind of like pulls on your hair a little bit. They plug it into liquid nitrogen, which circulates. It's not as cold as I thought. I mean, I'm an outdoorsy kind of girl anyway, and I snowboard and whatever, maybe that's why, but for me, it's like, I mean, it's cold, but it's not terrible. I do recommend wearing just like a small band for your forehead where it hits. But you sit for a half hour with just the cold cap. They give you your anti-nausea meds, your pre-medications for the infusion. And then the infusion starts. There's like 3 vials of the bright red doxorubicin, which is the, the bright red stuff. It's kind of weird. It's just kind of naturally that way, I guess. But they infuse that. I'm sorry, it's not in my arm. It's in my port. Accessing the port, by the way, is not super painful. You put a little lidocaine cream on about an hour before, and then they just like tap into it, and then, there's the tube and everything. So when they do the infusion, though, she stands kind of over there and slowly infuses each syringe. And then they start the other one, which is on a drip. And then I basically, it kind of takes about a half hour. And then it's another hour and a half after that of more cold cap of the circulation and just sitting there, just kind of like, they can take out the port at that time. You're reading. Again, the smell has been really tough for me. It's just the whole infusion center, it smells like poison is the best way I can put it. Of course you have to wear a mask because of COVID-19, hello. But wearing it the entire time, and then you're breathing, and like the taste, and I'm kind of having a hard time with it. I've been chewing on ice during the actual infusion for about a half hour. I have the ice in my mouth, and that kind of helps with the mouth sores. I've heard. I haven't gotten one yet, knock on wood. But the flavor, like now ice is ruined for me. Like I just the thought, I don't know. So I have some essential oils that my sister gave me that I'm gonna try and like make some little, I don't know, combination to put on under my nose, or some way that to kind of get through that scent part. And then there's of course, candies and stuff, and sodas to drink or whatever for after the infusion. But so yeah, it's about a 3-hour process from check-in to check-out. And I'm usually tired, I think from the anti-nausea medications and the steroids, or who knows, but I go home and I usually take a nap after the infusion. And then my first cycle, I did throw up once, but it wasn't, that was it. It was just one time. And then my second and third cycles, I have not vomited, knock on wood. I actually really even haven't struggled with nausea, which has been a great surprise, because of course, I think chemo, skeletal puking, just feeling like, and of course, things are a lot better these days, and they still will get better in the future for, future generations. But right now, I do for 3 days after each infusion, I take anti-nausea medicine, Zofran and Zyprexa, one in the morning and then each at night. And then there's also Decadron, yeah. It's a steroid, and I take one of those pills, like a 4 milligram pill, once a day for 3 days. And so that combination so far, I pretty much was like, tell me what to do, I'll do it. I want to have a good experience with this as much as possible, and so far it's working, which is great. So a lot of Z's with the medicine. Then there's the Zarxio. So Zarxio is a shot. It's filgrastim that it stimulates white blood cell production in your bone marrow, and you have to give it to yourself starting 2 days after your chemo infusion for a week. And it's usually your stomach. That's at least where I've been giving the shot each time. You alternate each night, etc. And that is definitely a skill. Obviously phlebotomists, obviously you guys have so much training, nurses, to give shots and all that, but I have such you learn the right angles. Not that it's super painful, it's not even painful at all, but it's just when you get that good angle and you don't even feel the shot, you're like, yes, that's smooth, that's good. So I've gotten better at it. So you give yourself the shots to build up your white blood cells, since the chemo knocks them down. And that you take they recommended taking Claritin and antihistamine about an hour before each shot, and it helps for whatever reason they don't totally understand. With the bone pain, which is a supposed side effect of the Zarxio. Knock on wood, haven't gotten the bone pain yet. I've been doing the one Claritin as etc. Advised, but anyway, so now today is Sunday. Sunday starts my magic 5-day period. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 5 days off of no medicines, no pills, no shots, no nothing. And this is my recovery time, and I'm like really growing to be very protective, and like this is a great time. I feel great. My energy's up. I just feel totally back to normal. I have to say that side effects, and some people told me too, they're like, hey Katrin, I don't think you're really gonna like have a terrible time, like you might be pleasantly surprised. And I was kind of skeptical because it's scary, but knock on wood, the main side effects, fatigue. That's been it, and it hasn't been paralyzing or like I will say it's been hard for mountain biking and stuff. Like when I climb uphill, I'm like I get winded a lot faster. I've been really trying to listen to my heart rate, obviously, or not listen, but listen to my body. So I kind of like I'll take several breaks, whereas now maybe I used to only take a couple breaks climbing. Now I take maybe 7 or something, and that's fine. I'm not in a hurry. So the fatigue is definitely real. And then sometimes it's mental. Like I just feel like I was reading my geology book the other day, and it was getting all technical, and I just was like, okay, put that down, like do something light. I can't hang anymore, So yeah, it's just kind of, it comes in fits and spurts too. And then I get really energetic, and I'll go, out and do as much as I can. But this next 5 days is when I feel the best. This is like definitely the best. Another side effect besides fatigue is heartburn. I had heartburn, not like terrible, but a little bit for about 3 or 4 days after each infusion. I pretty much have a little bit of heartburn. And then dry skin, that is real. I've been like drinking shea butter and lotion. Really get yourself some high quality lotion if you're going through chemo. Because you'll need it. Yeah, the dry skin, that's real. Water, I am like a fish anyway. Like I probably drink like, I don't know, at least 120 ounces of water a day. If not, it's twice that sometimes. You're endlessly thirsty. Like with chemo, like you're flushing your body. It makes sense. Your cells are, dying off and then trying to regenerate themselves, and there's so much waste, and so you just like drink a lot of water and drinking a ton of that. And then the hair is like, I've lost about half the volume of my hair. Again, I used to have a lot of hair, so it's definitely kind of nerve-wracking a little. I try not to worry about it too much. It's really kind of out of my control a little bit. I mean, I'm trying the cold cap. They say the shedding is very normal. It's normal to lose a lot of hair, but like for me, I mean, this is getting, it's a little bit, I mean, it kind of looks like I've got a good amount, but yeah, my part is wider. Anyway, so we'll see how far I get, and if I have to get to a point where I have to cut it all and so it looks better, then so be it. That's what I'll do. Bigger fish to fry. My husband always jokes because he's bald, and he's like, honey, he's like, at least you have a chance of it growing back, like you have hope. So like, he's like, I have no compassion for you, which is just half joking, of course. But yeah, so side effects, chemo, that's kind of been the main, just like the fatigue and the dry skin and stuff. Yeah, I'm basically next Friday I'll go in, have my next infusion. That's on May 29th, and hopefully, things will keep going smoothly because so far they have been going pretty smoothly. Just grabbing my journal here. I write a lot. I blog. I've always written. I've always kept a journal since I was a kid. So this is a journal that an old family friend, Ann Whitney, got for me, which is so sweet. Got in touch with me on Facebook and sent me 2 things actually: this journal and this awesome Energizer bunny, which is like a perfect symbol for me because I've You know, I'm pretty energetic, obviously. So she had said this had been in her office for a while and helped people, you know, going through their own hardships and been a great symbol for perseverance and etc. And so she had sent these to me, which is really sweet. So this is what I called my Silver Linings Journal. I know it's kind of a play off of Silver Linings Playbook, but basically, I think I do a pretty good job finding silver linings, making the best of situations most of the time. Of course, I'm human and things get hard. Like, for example, I mean, I wish for the bliss of life pre all this. Like, I wish I didn't have to live with this fear of cancer coming back, or maybe the chemo won't work, or whatever. Radiation, I'm due to do 5 weeks of radiation treatment after chemo is done. So, I mean, there's still a lot to, you know, overcome, and things are hard, but I wanted to point out just something in here that I'd written down on the side effects of chemo, because I thought it was pretty succinct in terms of summing it up. So, dry skin, excessive thirst, hair loss, it is on your body, except, like, I have, like, my eyebrows, my eyelashes have not fallen out. I've not had to shave my armpits in weeks, okay? So that's some honesty. I say one of the only places hair is really growing normally is my lower legs. That's still having to shave my lower legs, but anyway, then, okay, kind of a hangover feeling, like, for, like, not without the puking part, but just like a like bad taste in your mouth, tired, not too hungry, just kind of like, ugh. Sensitivity to sun, definitely burn easily, feel hotter. I'm olive, like I tan really easily, but lips dry out faster, eyes need sunglasses, like the sun you feel that ultraviolet radiation really intensely. You get kind of a raw throat too, like a little just mild cough, rawness, gravelly voice. It's not sore, but just kind of raw feeling. Your mucous membranes, your esophageal lining are thinned and drier than normal. And then, hot flashes or something. Okay, I'm 39 years old. Normal woman. I've not gone through menopause yet, but I feel like I'm going through menopause right now, or so I've heard. The heat is real. Okay, like I sleep now with the window open. I get hot. I'm like sweating. When I'm out mountain biking, it is like almost embarrassing in terms of the profusion of sweat that is just dripping off of me. The heat is really intense. So that has taken some getting used to. And then emotionally, you know, just the kind of the last thing I want to close with is there's a lot of invisible effects. Like, I look really normal-ish on the surface. I have some hair and I've got some breasts, boobs, excuse me, they're not breasts, oh my god. But there's a lot of stuff that kind of like you don't see, but it's there. And people have said this before who've gone through cancer, you know, it's like the invisible stuff. And, you know, it's like, for me, I feel just a little bit less confident right now. I feel like I'm missing a few feathers. I feel a little bit shy of my, like, normal, you know. I mean, of course you're not going to feel your best, you know. I'm grateful for how good I do feel, though. That's the number one thing, is I, like, think about how I expected chemo to be going into it, and now how it's, knock on wood, going, and it's tolerable, and it's actually not terrible. I'm very, very grateful for that. And of course to my doctors and everybody that works to take care of us right now with this pandemic, and these guys are our heroes, and I'm so lucky I was able to get my surgery when I did, and have my appointment still and everything. So but yeah, emotionally, it's just, it changes your life forever, obviously. And I've always been somebody, I felt like I really appreciated life a lot, but it's definitely takes it up a notch. I mean, time is just feels like this total limited thing, and it did before, but now especially, I'm like, I'm not looking beyond 10, maybe 20 years ahead. Now that sounds bad, but it's like, you start looking at recurrence rates and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it gets a little bit, you know, you don't want to look too far ahead. And one of the things I do, I read on the NCBI website. I spend hours every day, like, reading through articles and trying to, like, glean information. And of course, I'm not a doctor or a molecular biologist, but I'm a science teacher and an environmental studies major with a lot of science classes. So passion for learning, and I've been a constant learner of science. It's just so endlessly interesting. So it's like, this stuff's going on with my body. How can I not want to know more about it? Of course, I don't understand all the complexity of everything, but the stuff I do learn is really interesting, and then some of it is also really kind of sad, and you're like, all right. But hey, life, none of us have a guarantee, right? I mean, that's been said before. It's like all the cliches become really true when you go through these hard times because they're true for a reason. And none of us have a guarantee of time. None of us know how much further, we get to go down the road of life. So just going to keep on trying to enjoy it and make the best of it, and just keep on moving. That's the important part. Keep moving. Keep on trucking. Thank you for listening.